Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Awards Watch Emmy video podcast. We're going to do drama series categories today, closing out this video series of Emmy podcasts. And of course, once again, joining me is Tyler Doster. Hello, Tyler.
Hey Eric, how are you today?
I am good. I am excited. We're actually super close to the nominations now. We're a week away, a week today that we are recording this. So we'll see how we do with our predictions today, and then we might deviate just a little bit from them when we post the final ones up on Awards Watch. But we'll see. Let's see where we are right now. We're going to try and cover the writing and directing categories, the guest acting categories, supporting and lead, and of course drama series. And we've got a wide-ranging number of slots this year, once again, because the Emmys are now using a sliding scale that is submission-based. So we'll have 7 nominees in some categories, 5 in another, 8 in drama series, which is kind of wild. We're going to get some really fun, weird things in there. But let's start with writing and directing. We're going to kind of just talk around what we think are the main contenders. I do have my list, but I am extremely unsure of it because it's weird. It's always weird. Let's look at writing for right now. And of course, like we do see every year, certain shows and networks submit maybe just one episode to ensure they get a nomination. Others kind of go crazy and they're like, let's Better Call Saul this and submit 7 episodes. Sometimes it works. You never know until it does, though. Uh, Tyler, what are you looking at just as a round area of shows that are going to get here?
Well, I think that I've got a couple of things, or maybe one thing that I think is locked, and that's the finale of The Crown. I think that'll easily make it into writing. I think that's probably one of the only things I think that's going to be locked in. Um, Lovecraft Country, I think, is going to get a nomination here. I think that it could end up getting one. The Handmaid's Tale submitted 3, I think. I expect them to take up at least one slot, but I'm kind of, with the season they just had, I'm kind of expecting them to go maybe 2. Um, I'm looking at the series finale of Pose just because that was such a big thing at the end of the month a couple months ago. And I'm also looking at one of the Euphoria specials, the Fuck Anyone That's Not a Sea Blob, and I'm wondering if that's going to get in there. And I'm also hoping that the pilot of P Valley gets in.
That would be amazing. That would be wonderful. Yeah, this is weird. I also obviously have that episode of The Crown. They're smart. They do this every year. They're like, we want one. Let's just get the one, and we're done. I think we're definitely going to see one Handmaid's Tale. I think it might be 2. I think we'll see The Mandalorian. They submitted a lot of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I do think they'll do maybe better in directing than in writing. They might not get both, but if they're going to get in writing, I think it's going to be The Rescue. I mean, that's the episode of the year. I also think the post series finale has a really good shot. And then it's when it starts to get into a little more esoteric nominees and things that we see get in often that might not get in elsewhere, might not get into drama series, or pilot episodes. We know they love pilot episodes of new shows too. So I'm actually looking at The Boys, which submitted a handful of episodes. I think What I Know is the best shot here. And I think the show For All Mankind from Apple might have a good shot too. And then that episode would be The Gray. But then there's also like Raised by Wolves, the Ridley Scott show. That has a good chance. Bridgerton, I imagine, might have a shot here with the Diamond of the First Water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on Lovecraft Country, but I'm not sure. I'm glad that the cancellation announcement happened after the voting period.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's tough. I'm glad there's 7 slots, but I'm looking at it going, there's going to be some doubling up somewhere. It's not going to be 7 individual shows. It just, that would be too rare.
I totally agree with you there. I think that at least 1 or 2 shows is going to pull out 2 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. At last year, we had 2 from The Crown, 2 from Ozark, 2 from Succession. When they like a show, they like the show.
Mm-hmm.
And things like Handmaid and Mandalorian just feel like they're going to happen. I don't know. It's tough.
I'm really thinking that The Handmaid's Tale is probably going to make it at least 2 episodes in there. I mean, they do have a third. They could pull a, it was in comedy, but they could pull a What We Do in the Shadows and take up 3 slots.
Absolutely. And I mean, we know that when they had that hanging season where they could only have below the line and like guest nominations, they like maxed out. They still got like 11 nominations
Mm-hmm.
without getting any of the, you know, above the line acting and series and all of that. So they love the show. So I think it speaks to that they should be able to get 2 in. We'll see.
I agree. I think that maybe it depends on the love. I've also put down perhaps an episode of In Treatment, depending on how they view that.
Yeah, I should have done. I don't remember if the first series got writing nominations now. I should know that, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But it did pretty well otherwise, but it was more of an acting push.
Mm-hmm.
A great Diane Wiest win. And I think we'll be talking about In Treatment a little bit later.
Yeah, me too.
Let's let's look at directing. This is bananas. This is also going to be 7. And I have so many things listed.
Me too.
I have so many things. 6 of my 7 all come from just 3 shows.
Wow.
Yeah. I have 2 episodes from The Crown, 2 episodes of Handmaid's Tale, and 2 episodes of Mandalorian, and 1 open spot. And I'm looking at, where's that going to come from? Is it going to come from The Boys, which would make the most sense to me, Bridgerton, For All Mankind, Lovecraft Country, another Mandalorian. The second episode of Perry Mason was directed by Tim Van Patten, who is Emmy directing royalty across multiple shows. Ridley Scott directed the pilot of Raised by Wolves. That could be in there. It's wild. It's crazy.
This category is for sure. This one's a little more complicated than writing, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, and I got my things mixed up. What I just said for what was nominated last year. The last year nominees were 3 from Ozark and 2 from Better Call Saul. It's directing that had the 2 Succession, 2 Ozark, and 2 Crown.
Mm.
So corrected. Oh, and that's actually really, that's why I like looking at last year's, because all of those were pretty expected, because they were shows that we knew that they were going to love because they had loved before, or that were just the bigger, buzzier titles. And then like the nomination for the morning show, first season show, makes a lot of sense. That Leslie Lincoln Glatter nomination for Homeland, we all predicted that because she's gotten in every single year, even as the show doesn't.
Yeah.
So I think we can look at those patterns and go, what's this year going to look like? Is there going to be that person that always gets in, the Tim Van Patten or something like that?
I'm looking at, I don't know. Handmaid's Tale submitted 5 episodes for this category, so I think that they're definitely going to take up some good real estate in this category. I think that Lovecraft Country, if we're looking at what you just said, I feel like Lovecraft Country has the chance. They submitted 4. I think they have a chance to be that 7th nomination. I'm also looking at the Euphoria special, the other special they put out.
Yeah.
Trouble Don't Last Always. I'm wondering if that'll get any kind of recognition, because they did like the first season of Euphoria.
Yes. And as we know, those episodes can get in The show cannot get into drama series though, because it was only those two specials, but it does get to compete in the drama series categories.
Absolutely. And I'm also hoping P-Valley submitted 4 episodes, including their pilot, and including episode 3, which I think is a beautifully directed episode. So I'm hoping that they get some love, but I think it also could be Bridgerton for one of their 2 episodes that they submitted.
Yeah, I have more listed in my other contenders than I do in my 7 predictions, because I think it's so open. I think it's so wide open.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be a fun category. But yeah, I think my last one will probably be an episode of The Boys. I just feel like that show is going to break out, kind of how The Mandalorian did, not like, you know, an acting play, but elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to recognize too that when we're looking, especially at the writing categories, we haven't had a year in which 2 of the writing nominees didn't overlap with drama series since 2008.
Wow.
So in looking at the things that are going to get in for writing is much more tied to drama series than most categories. But then we're going to have 8 nominees in drama series. So that opens things up considerably.
For sure. It's almost stressful.
Yes, it is almost. We always say, you know, we only need just a couple more nominees. It'll be so much easier. It's not easier.
It's not. It almost makes it more complicated. It's more exciting that we get to add more shows, but it makes it a little bit more complicated.
Yes, it definitely does. Let's look at the guest categories, and I'll just kind of throw some things out. And one thing I wanted to mention, in guest actor, we're only going to have 5 slots. Last year's winner was Ron Cephas Jones for This Is Us, and he was not submitted this year, which is super strange because he's been so popular. And he and his daughter are going to be announcing the nominations. So it's weird.
Very awkward. Very awkward.
I don't get it. I don't, unless it was a very specific choice to not submit, and then he didn't want to, which is totally possible. It happens all the time. But I think we're going to see, oh my God, we could see so many Mandalorian actors in here. I think we'll see Bill Burr and Timothy Oliphant, I think are very likely to get in. But they've also got Mark Hamill. If Mark Hamill gets in here for that CGI sort of voice cameo, I won't be shocked, but I'll be pretty annoyed to get into, 5. Yeah. But there's Carl Weathers too, from The Mandalorian. There's a lot. I think Charles Dance will get in for The Crown. I think Courtney B. Vance is absolutely locked in for Lovecraft Country. He's probably a front runner. We've got Michael Angarano for This Is Us. He got in 2019. He should be able to get in again. Giancarlo Esposito was nominated here last year, but he is up in supporting now. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting little one-offs. Don Cheadle in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Patrick Dempsey in Grey's Anatomy is a total outside shot, but a possibility. There's a lot of things. I don't know. It's tough. Kind of a bleak category though, really. Yeah. All right, let's look at guest actress, which could be super problematic. We have some returning nominees that could make it in again, with Alexis Bledel in The Handmaid's Tale. She's also a previous winner. And then Felicia Rashad for This Is Us, who was nominated last year. And then right after the voting ended, decided to tweet her huge relief and praise at Bill Cosby being set free, which did not go very well for her at all.
Yeah.
It was really messy. So it will be strange if she is nominated, but at least she's kind of basically sealed her fate as a loser.
Yeah, for sure. If she gets nominated, it's not happening.
No, she'd be in last place. And this is, again, is like guest actor, only 5 spots. So there's not much room here. The Handmaid's Tale has done very well here in the past. They've got Amanda Bruhl, they've got McKenna Grace. I think Laverne Cox, a previous nominee, could get in for the blacklist. It's the kind of thing that the supporting categories used to be like, is, you know, random shows that don't get in really much anywhere else, but love to get into the guest spots, like all the Law and Orders. Those were fun. I think there's a really good outside shot for Claire Foy in The Crown for that first episode, which is a flashback. Totally possible. But I don't know. Oh, what did I say? Rosario Dawson, Mandalorian. She should be able to get in.
The Mandalorian is going to be competing hard in the guest categories.
Yeah, it is. I think it's going to do phenomenally well just moving forward. Any thoughts? Any thoughts on guests there, Tyler?
Like I just said, I think the Mandalorian's going to do a lot. I don't have anything to say about Felicia Rashad. I don't know. I'm thinking that I don't know, maybe Rosario Dawson could pull through and actually win, because they do like the Mandalorian quite a bit. She's getting her own show based off that character, isn't she?
Yeah. I think I think she could be a potential front runner. Her episodes are super strong. They're going to be factored into many other races and categories. I think Sophie Okonedo in Ratchet also has a really good shot.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her. Oh yeah, great performance.
Yeah,
great performance.
It really is. I think she's got a good shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's jump to supporting. Let's get into those. Those are really fun. We've got 8 spots for each of the supporting categories, which is crazy. The only returning potential people from last year would be Helena Bonham Carter in The Crown and Samara Wiley for The Handmaid's Tale, both previously nominated. We've got Ann Dowd returning as a winner and a nominee. Chrissy Metz was nominated in 2017. Yvonne Strahovski was nominated in 2018. So there could be quite a few things returning nominees last year, but there are plenty that won't be, like Laura Dern, Meryl Streep, Andy Newton, Fiona Shaw, Sarah Snook. So it's again going to be a year that's going to see a lot of potential new blood. And certainly The Crown has enough of that to go around.
Yeah.
With these 8 spots, I think we could see like a lot there. So I'll let you go first and tell me what you have.
All right, for my 8, I have The Crown actually taking 3 spots in this category right now. I have Gillian Anderson as kind of the front runner. I also have Helena Bonham Carter, and I also have Emerald Fennell, recent Oscar winner. I think that's gonna propel her right into an Emmy nomination this year. I actually also have 3 from The Handmaid's Tale. I have Yvonne Strahovski, Ann Dowd, and Samira Wiley down for that one. So I think that 2 shows could end up taking 6 of the nominations. Then I also have Cynthia Nixon for Ratchet. And then I also have, for my last one, I might be butchering this pronunciation, so please help me if I am. Wunmi Masaku.
Yeah. Yeah. Tyler, we have the exact same 8.
Do we really?
Yes, we have the exact same 8. And I feel so strongly about that 8.
Yeah, me too.
It's crazy. Although, I mean, I would love to see, room for like Ingenue Ellis in Lovecraft Country, because her really strong episodes are so spectacular. I would love, Dominique Jackson would be great to get in.
Oh yes.
Girl, when she was playing herself as a teenager, come on. How can you not? That was incredible. That was amazing. But I think it's tough. Adjoa Ando from Bridgerton, I think, has a chance. But if we have 8 slots and we both picked the same 8 completely separately,
Yeah, haven't discussed this before.
We have not talked about this yet. I don't know. That seems pretty, I don't want to say locked, but that's pretty
It's telling.
Yeah, that we feel that way. Yeah.
And like you said, I feel pretty strongly about these 8. Like I sat there with them for a minute before locking these 8 in. I decided like these are it.
I do too, because they are a perfect Emmy combination of previous winners, very loved shows, first timers, first season. It's a combination of all of those things. So it's I don't even know in looking at my list, I don't know who's in 8th place, who's the most vulnerable. I don't know. I don't feel like any of them are.
Me neither.
I mean, especially Wumi Masako, because even though Journey Smollett is the lead, her storyline is an A storyline. It's not even a B storyline. It's something that's happening parallel throughout the season, and she is as close to a co-female lead as the show could get.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, her missing would be just pretty terrible.
Yeah. That's my 8.
That's my 8 too. All right. I guess there's not much to do with that. That's all right. I don't think we'll have the same 8 for supporting actor. I will be surprised.
I would be pretty surprised.
Yes, I'd be surprised. So I will go first this time, and let's see what details we have from last year. So last year's winner was Billy Crudup. Obviously, he will not be here for the morning show. Neither will Nicholas Braun, Kieran Culkin, Matthew McFadden, Mark Duplass, Giancarlo Esposito, Jeffrey Wright. That's it. The only of last year's 8 nominees, the only returner is Bradley Whitford, and he won Guest in 2019. And then, as mentioned before, Giancarlo Esposito was nominated in Guest for Mandalorian last year. He's up to supporting this year. So we are going to have 7 brand new nominees from last year, which is great. It's great for a lot of new actors. It's great for new shows or potentially returning shows. So I will go with my list, and it's in order. I've got Michael K. Williams, Lovecraft Country, Bradley Whitford for The Handmaid's Tale, Giancarlo Esposito, The Mandalorian, Tobias Menzies, The Crown, Jonathan Bailey, Bridgerton, John Benjamin Hickey in Treatment, Justin Hartley, This Is Us, and Anthony Ramos in Treatment.
We are only different by 1.
How is that possible?
Only different by 1. As you were sitting there, I was like, how is this happening? And some of them are in the exact same places too.
Okay, so let me guess. Then it's either Justin Hartley or Anthony Ramos.
No, I've got both of them.
Oh my God. All right, then you've got to tell me. Who is it?
So I'm doing Michael K. Williams, Tobias Menzies, Bradley Whitford. Then I have John Lithgow for Perry Mason, Giancarlo Esposito, Anthony Ramos, John Benjamin Hickey, and Justin Hartley.
Wow. Okay, that's not how I thought this was going to go down at all. I'm shocked.
I thought that one would be a lot more surprising and a lot different, but apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my list, and I thought that it was a little more left field, but maybe it's not. Yeah, the John Lithgow mention makes a whole lot of sense. Also, just a huge friend of the Emmys. Mm-hmm. Chris Sullivan got in here before Justin Hartley did, which is crazy. So there's definitely that chance. Oti Fegbenle from The Handmaid's Tale. could get in, especially if they love it like they love it everywhere else. I'm also looking at maybe a cool, weird nomination for Daniel Bruhl in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because he was the most liked and buzzed about character, really, I think, for that season with his little dance.
Yeah.
I think Asante Black in This Is Us has a chance. He is also a previous nominee. I could see him get in over Justin Hartley.
Maybe.
That's very possible. I don't know how they feel about the show still. It's tough.
It'll definitely be interesting to find out on nomination day, because I'm not sure how they feel about it either.
Yeah, this season will kind of be a big tell-all, I think. And I'm also hopeful for like Angel Bismarck Curiel from Pose to get in.
Yes.
If they watch the show, he will get in for his groomsman speech before the wedding, because that was just absolutely beautiful. One of the things that's kind of great about that speech is that it very much mirrored his personal journey from before starring on that show to now, and how he understood the trans communities pretty specifically. So it's very much a personal path, and you can see it, you can feel it in his speech. He's so good. We'd love for him to get in. But otherwise, I do feel pretty good about this. I think Michael K. Williams is absolutely running away with this.
Yeah.
And this category is the only acting category at the Emmys that has never had a Black winner.
Wow.
Only one. It's mind-blowing. But then at the same time, here we are, where I do think he is absolutely a front runner. So I hope he wins.
Me too. He's great in that show.
He is. He's a 4-time nominee. He should have been nominated many more times for The Wire. But I'm glad he's getting his due finally. All right, let's jump to the lead categories. We're going to have 6 in each of these. And let's start with lead actor. Again, we're going to have a handful of last year's nominees not eligible, including the winner, Jeremy Strong. Brian Cox won't be here. Jason Bateman won't be here. Steve Carell won't be here. So we've got 2 previous winners, Sterling Gay Brown and Billy Porter, as possible returning nominees. Joseph Fiennes was nominated and supporting in 2018. He's a lead now. Milo Ventimiglia was nominated 3 times, 2017, 2018, 2019. He might be in. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm going to let you start this time.
All right. I have Josh O'Connor for The Crown, Jonathan Majors, Lovecraft Country, Sterling K. Brown, This Is Us, Billy Porter, Pose, Regé-Jean Page, Bridgerton, and Pedro Pascal, The Mandalorian.
Well, we are, 5 out of 6? We are 5 out of 6. I also have Brown, Majors, O'Connor, Page, and Porter, which would make 4 Black Best Actor contenders. That would make history. But then I have Matthew Rhys for Perry Mason. And I don't know. Pascal makes a lot of sense, especially since he finally does his big reveal.
Yeah.
But that's part of the thing I think that kept him from getting in the year before, is that, and I think it can be difficult for actors voting for performances to vote for actors they can't see. That's why voice acting roles never get in regular acting nominations, because there's definitely a stigma by actors that don't want to vote for what they feel are voice performances. And largely in The Mandalorian, He is. It is a voice performance.
Yeah.
But he does break that in that very awesome episode. So I can see that. I can see it. If he gets in, that's definitely the episode he should submit.
For sure.
Without question.
Absolutely.
There's a handful, but a small handful, I think, of other guys here. Nico Anand for P-Valley. Anthony Starr for The Boys, Joel Kinnaman for All Mankind, Justin Thoreau and Mosquito Coast, but those are very peripheral right now, I think, especially with only 6 slots. And then the ones we mentioned, Milo Ventimiglia, Joseph Fiennes. So yeah, we've got, if we're 5 out of 6, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. I'm still wondering really what to do with Lovecraft Country in the acting categories though, because it managed the SAG ensemble, but nothing individual. No, it's tough because each of us have already mentioned 2 performances, now 3, all individual. I don't know. I wonder if we're overestimating.
We might be. We're going to be finding out very soon. I'm very excited to find out
very soon. And speaking of that, let's jump to lead actress. Again, 6 spots and only 1 returning contender from last year, and that's going to be Olivia Coleman for The Crown. We've got Elizabeth Moss back with The Handmaid's Tale. She was nominated in 2017. 2018, she won in 2017 and nominated again in 2018. Mandy Moore in This Is Us was nominated in 2019. She might come back. I don't know. Maybe not with only 6 spots. And total long shot, but Mariska Hargitay in Law and Order Special Victims Unit has been nominated 8 times, and she actually won. But it's been 10 years since she was nominated. And we have a very different type of television show now than we did 10 years ago. So a show like that's going to have an extremely difficult time cracking the non-regular network stranglehold that they have on these categories. And with that, I will go first.
All right.
I've got Uzo Aduba for In Treatment, Olivia Coleman, The Crown, Emma Corrin, The Crown, Elizabeth Moss, Handmaid's Tale, Sarah Paulson, Ratchet. And the last is the one that is the toughest for me because I just don't know. And I'm going with MJ Rodriguez for Pose. But it's tough.
We have the same 6.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Yep, same 6 again.
Oh my gosh.
MJ was my number 6 too.
Yeah, and in terms of looking at it, she would be in number 6 and the most vulnerable. But when I look at my other contenders, it's not that much of a stretch to think that she could get in, that she's in. We've got Journey Smollett, which we just mentioned, and we have like pretty much all the rest of the cast getting in for Lovecraft Country. Mandy Moore, This Is Us, could come back. I think that's probably not going to happen. I think there's a weird outlying shot for Queen Latifah in The Equalizer. The show is a massive hit, even though it's on regular network TV, but it's a really big hit. And then Phoebe Dynevor, Bridgerton. Those are the outside. Those are the possible number 6s that would replace Rodriguez for me.
That's pretty much what I was looking at too. It was kind of hard to. The five first spots were easy to fill for me, but that last spot was the only one that gave me a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, me too.
Finally, I decided on MJ Rodriguez because she's always been like the heart of Pose. So I kind of, at this point, expect her to get a nomination because I think she deserves one so much. So I guess it might be me manifesting a little bit by predicting her, but I also do think that she deserves it. And if they're paying enough attention, I think she could get it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think she probably deserves it more for this season than the previous. So I think she's grown as an actress, and we can see that too from the first season. But she's had a fantastic arc, and she deserves it. She's great.
She is. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I would love that. I want it to happen.
Another person, if just in case it didn't happen, another person I would love to see in there would be Brandy Evans for P-Valley.
And I knew that was coming, and I'm with you. I'm right with you.
If they would just shower P-Valley with love, I would be so happy.
I know. We need them to watch the damn show.
Really.
They got to watch it.
It takes. If you can get somebody in front of that show, they'll enjoy it.
Yeah. I want it to happen because it's the last chance for it to happen. I mean, Ratchet's coming back for a second season. Olivia Coleman and Emma Corrin, this will be their last shot here.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth Moss, I'm sure Handmaids will be back. I don't know what the future of In Treatment is going to be, but there's no way Uzo Aduba's not getting in.
Yeah, no way. I was writing her name down with fury. I knew she
yeah. Oh, yeah. She's like top 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a really, really tough. Again, I might change it by the time our finals come out on Friday, but I don't think I will. I think I will keep it like this. Whether like you said, whether it's manifesting or proper predicting, we'll see. All right, let's close with drama series. We've got 8 slots here, and we do have 3 shows that could be returning: The Crown, The Handmaid's Tale, and The Mandalorian. Crown's been nominated for all of its seasons before. Same for Handmaid's Tale, and it won in 2017. Crown has yet to win. Pose was nominated for its first season. This Is Us was nominated for its first 3, but missed last year. But I think with 8 spots, we've got a lot of possibilities. And I think one really shocking outlier that has a chance that I know you're not going to see coming when I say it. So, wait, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Oh no, now I'm nervous. Okay, I have The Crown, The Handmaid's Tale, The Mandalorian. And then I also have Lovecraft Country, Pose, This Is Us, Bridgerton, and Perry Mason.
So we are 7 for 8 here. Instead of Perry Mason, I do have The Boys getting in.
Okay. I thought about that.
They are pushing, Amazon is pushing The Boys the way that they did Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Mm-hmm.
It created that whole drive-through diner experience thing. So they're pushing this show hard, like really, really hard. And, if it gets the writing or directing nominations that I think it might get, then that makes sense. Perry Mason makes sense, but it also feels totally like a quiet HBO show that hasn't done much.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's possibility for In Treatment to be that show for HBO instead, and for maybe Ratchet to be another Netflix show that can get in.
Mm-hmm.
But the show that I think is the totally no one will see coming surprise that could get in would be Yellowstone from Paramount Plus.
Mm.
It had a massive, like double-digit series finale. And something about that just, I think, will speak to the old school voters that grew up in the network world of the Emmys before HBO took over. I can totally see that. It's an old-fashioned show, but I'm just kind of holding it just outside to be the real spoiler here. But, you know, I wouldn't predict it for writing or directing or maybe even in acting. Just like a total random, like, here it is, like one shot. Almost like Bodyguard did a few years ago. But that did get into writing too. I don't know. We'll see.
I loved that show.
Yeah.
Bodyguard. Ooh, what a show.
Uh-huh. It was really good. Well, all right. Tell me why you have Perry Mason. And I'll tell you why I have, well, I told you why I have The Boys. Tell me why you have Perry Mason.
I have Perry Mason just because I think it might get a couple nominations here and there in other places. And out of all the drama series, I was looking through all the nominations and I was looking at stuff like In Treatment and P-Valley and like the Mosquito Coast and stuff like that. But if they're not getting the amount of nominations they need elsewhere, I just don't see it happening for them in drama series. So I guess like if Matthew Rhys can get in and then maybe even like a writing or directing nod somewhere, then I think that Perry Mason has the edge to get out. But I also can see exactly where you're coming from with The Boys.
Perry Mason has a lot of advantages by being a period piece too. So it's with more categories, it can get into those, you know, period hair, period costume, things like that in a way that other shows won't be able to get into. Like, I mean, Pose is a period show, but it has struggled in categories that it should never have struggled in before, like costume, like makeup. I mean, those should have been locks, but they haven't been so far. So I think my most vulnerable shows are actually Pose and This Is Us, even more so than The Boys. I feel eerily good about The Boys. But again, largely because we've got 8 spots. If we had 5, maybe not.
God, I thank God we don't have 5.
I know. I'd only feel good about maybe 3 spots if we had 5.
Yeah, seriously, that would be a bloodbath to get those nominations.
It would be. It would be. Are there any outliers that you can think of that we did not mention?
I think that if people have watched maybe the Mosquito Coast, then maybe it could surprise in a couple categories. Justin Theroux's great on that show. Melissa George is excellent on that show. It's got some good writing. I know I think they only submitted 1 for writing. And it's a stellar episode that they submitted. So I think that could be like an outlier. It might be something that has to get to a season 2 before it gets noticed. But I think just like P-Valley, if people will sit in front of the TV and watch it, I think it could get a lot more attention.
Yeah, and Mosquito Coast is Apple, and they did break through last year with the morning show, but that was also Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, and came with it, you know, with an enormous amount of star power and attention. And Mosquito Coast doesn't quite have that, and neither does For All Mankind, for that matter. Their other main drama push. But I know that they pushed both of those shows pretty strongly during the voting period. So I know they're hopeful.
No, for sure.
And it could happen, because right now I'm looking at Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Disney, FX, NBC. So we'll see. And that was the other benefit that Apple had last year, is that the morning show was the only push. That was it. That was going to get for this category. And they are splitting themselves up a little bit with For All Mankind and Mosquito Coast. So it might have diminishing results. We'll see. Well, I think that's it for this section of the Emmy prediction series, which has been kind of fun. I'm loving doing the video thing.
Me too. I would just like to say for anyone listening, again, we did not talk to each other before all these predictions. I don't know how they came out to be so similar. I guess that just tells you the state of the race.
I think so. I think that's kind of the funny thing, and I'm really glad that we did not uh, kind of share notes before because we didn't get to influence each other in any way. But yeah, that says a lot, especially that supporting actress category. That just knocks my socks off.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, I don't know how we got the same 8. That's too many. The odds are just not in our favor that would have happened.
Yeah, no. I still can't believe the supporting actor thing. 7 out of 8. And I thought it might be like 4.
I thought we were going to hit like 4 or 5, and then it was going to be like
Yeah,
that.
me too.
But it's not. Some of these races are just not. It's not that they aren't competitive. It's just that we have fewer shows than before, so there's a little bit less to choose from. We were talking a little bit before we started recording that variety sections are especially depleted. There's only going to be 2 variety sketch series nominees this year because we just don't have enough to pad out those numbers, which is crazy. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of ever having less than 5 nominees in any award show, period. But that's how it is.
Yeah, me neither.
That's
I
how
don't
it
love
is.
that either.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. We are going to have our final predictions in print form on Friday. And then the Emmy nominations are Tuesday, July 13th at 8:30 in the morning Pacific time, which is a normal human time to be up in the morning and not 5 o'clock like the Oscars.
Correct.
Thank you very much, Television Academy. And they will be announced by Ron Cephas-Jones and his daughter, Jasmine Cephas-Jones. Both Emmy winners. She won last year, and he has won a couple of times. So, should be fun. I can't wait. Any final words there from you, Tyler, before we go?
Watch P-Valley. That's what I could say. Watch P-Valley. If you haven't seen P-Valley, watch it. If you have seen it, please tell someone else to watch it because it deserves everyone to be watching it.
I think we need to start like a P-Valley podcast or something because there isn't a podcast that goes by, even if it's a different category, that you don't get to mention the show. So yeah, I'm with you.
Stars should know by now that I am on their side.
Exactly. Well, Tyler, where can people find you on the internet other than obviously at awardswatch.com, where you are the TV awards editor?
I can be found on Twitter at Words with Tyler, and I can also be found on Instagram at Tyler Doster. That's TYLER DOSTER.
Excellent. And obviously, always come to awardswatch.com, like, subscribe, and do all of those little fun button pushes. And keep an eye out for our final predictions coming soon. All right. Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, Eric.
All right. Bye.
Bye.